Welcome to the Mama Needs a Moment podcast. We're your hosts, Chrissy and Cindy, co-founders of Her Health Collective, and moms who totally get the chaos of juggling it all.
But here's the thing, your well-being matters. That's why we're on a mission to change the way moms take care of themselves.
We bring you quick 10 to 15 minute bite-sized episodes packed with expert advice on women's health, parenting, and self-care, plus real-life tips you can use right now.
So take a deep breath, grab your lukewarm cup of coffee, and let's make these moments count.
Today, we are joined by Mary-Michele Lidiffer, known as the Visibility Stylist. Michelle is a master style and confidence coach, creator of the Style Finder ID system, which we are going to dive into later today, which I'm really excited about. And she's also host of the Women Living Wildly Alive podcast. She is on a mission to help women break free from the invisibility trap, that exhausting cycle of feeling not enough, shrinking to fit in, and seeking validation outside themselves. I don't know very many women who aren't in some way struggling with the invisibility trap. Through her powerful work, Michelle helps women reclaim their identity, embody unapologetic confidence, and lead with magnetic presence. Michelle also offers transformational programs such as Body Image Breakthrough and the Midlife Reset, guiding women to rediscover their brilliance from the inside out. Michelle, we are so excited to have you with us today. Thank you for joining us and sharing your insights and wisdom around confidence and fashion and showing up as your best, big, most bold, beautiful self.
Oh, thank you, Chrissy. I am so excited to be here.
Michelle, I'm so excited to be talking to you today. I took your Style Finder assessment and I was super surprised with what it came back with, but it was very accurate. So we'll get into that in a few moments. But in a recent post on social media, you offered reflections from Paris Fashion Week, sharing how people in France seem to have a completely different relationship with food and their bodies compared to what we often see here in America. Or there's less calorie counting in France than there is here, which leads to more joy and confidence and pleasure in the experience of eating and living. Why do you think that is? And what can we learn from this cultural difference that could help us build a healthier, more empowered mindset around food and body image?
That's such a great question, Cindy. Well, it's interesting because we've heard, all of us, I know I've heard for years, French women don't get fat. And it's interesting because I really started looking at beyond the weight, looking at their style. And I've been traveling to France over the past few years. And when I was there in February, I ended up having conversations, just casual conversations with two French women around their style and midlife. Because what I'm hearing is once you hit 35 or 40 or have a child or hit a certain phase in your life and your body changes, it can become more difficult to get dressed. And I think as you get closer to menopause and start to shift, a lot of women have been saying to me, I feel frumpy, I feel disconnected, I don't know who I am. And what I came to find through that conversation, these women looked at me and they're like, no challenges. I'm like, wait a minute, you don't feel frumpy? And they're like, what's frumpy? They didn't even know what I was talking about. I'm like, well, what is happening here? And so it really put me on a path to dive in and look at the contrast. And I actually have started writing a book called French Women Don't Get Frumpy. But
I love
I
it.
really think someone asked me this question the other day. They're like, well, why do you think that is? And I think if we distill it down into a nutshell, there are a lot of reasons, but it really comes down to one. French women are not disconnected from themselves in the same way that American women are. I think American women, we're having kids, we're running businesses, we're taking care of maybe aging parents or family members. And we can often put ourselves on the back burner. In fact, I think in a lot of ways, women are taught to put themselves on the back burner, that our needs should come last. French women are not the same way. They prioritize self-care, they prioritize pleasure, they prioritize joy. They take time out for the long leisurely lunch, even if it's 2 hours by themselves. But there are so many ways that are just woven into their culture that keep them connected to themselves and therefore connected to their style. And I think that's probably the biggest difference that I've seen.
Oh, that's so true. So true. I have to admit that I spend time on Pinterest looking up French style. I love it. I love the way that it's just so elegantly chic, that they just seem to put things together so effortlessly. So I constantly look to try to put together my time capsule, to have things that I can invest in, but they're there for the long haul. Sometimes American style can be a bit trendy, and it
Mm,
comes in and it goes out, and I don't see that as much in the French style unless I'm watching Emily in Paris. Then that's the case. Then it's like super, I mean, out there. Her outfits are awesome, but thank you.
yes.
That's so interesting.
All right. So I am really excited to dive into this next part with you, Michelle. Cindy and I both filled out your trademarked Style Finder ID quiz. And I have to admit, it was kind of fun to do. So I definitely recommend for everyone to go give it a try. You created this Style Finder ID system to help women understand their
Mhm.
unique style personality and reclaim confidence through what they wear. Cindy and
Yes.
I, as I said, we both took the assessment. I don't know what Cindy's results are. I'm excited to hear, and I'm really excited to dive into the results with you. I have to say, in taking it, it's everything I already knew about me. And also, it was very validating to see it written out and stated in a way that wasn't, oh, you're frumpy, because I'm 80% sporty, and I do often that's brought up in the thing, but it doesn't have to be. In the way it was described and the way that you can utilize it, it was very powerful. So I highly recommend everybody go take this. And it was fun. It was fun to do. As I was taking it, I thought about in high school how I saw the Spice Girls movie,
Mhm.
and everybody would talk about which Spice Girl they wanted to be, and I always wanted to be Sporty Spice. She was the one that spoke to me. So I did very much identify with the results from this. Can you share with us a bit about the style types that are in this quiz?
This episode is brought to you by Her Circle, the ultimate community for moms looking for real connections, meaningful experiences, and expert support.
From mom's night out and family adventures to book club, volunteer opportunities, and expert workshops, Her Circle is where moms come together to learn, laugh, and lift each other up.
Spots are limited, so join the waitlist at herhealthcollective.com/membership and be the first to know when doors open.
Well, I created the Style Finder ID system about 15 years ago. And I created it because I've always had a really strong sense of my style. And when I became a style coach in 2008, women came to me and they kept saying, I don't know what my style is. I'm like, how do you not know your style? And so that was very eye-opening for me. And I realized, what came easy to me is definitely not easy for a lot of women. And so I really started working with clients to see patterns and see how things were coming together. And so I created the Style Finder ID system. And essentially, it's a series of questions that helps you really understand. So there are 8 style types. And what I've had is a primary word, a secondary word, and a supporting word. And it's interesting because I found that when I ask somebody, well, how would you describe your style? They'll give me one word. Maybe they'll say, well, I'm classic. And, and like, there's always more. And so a lot of women think about their style as unilateral, like a one word, as I don't even know what the word for that is. Not multifaceted, single faceted, I guess. Life is it's multifaceted. And I started looking at my own style. I'm dramatic, romantic, and classic. And
I can see that.
well, how you do anything is how you do everything. And so it's really interesting to put those together. So I have 8 words, and there's a primary word, which is one of the 8, a secondary word, which is one of the 8, and a supporting word, which is one of the 8. And so everybody has a 3-word style finder ID. But what I did was I took the primary words and the secondary words, and in the order that they are in, created 32 different archetypes. And it's really the archetype that helps you understand, well, okay, I might be sporty, but I'm also natural. And then I'm a little bit whimsical. But what was interesting with you two, and you don't know this yet, you two have the same archetype.
Really?
You do. You're
That's
both
so
sporty
funny.
and natural. But the difference, Chrissy, is your supporting word is whimsical, whereas Cindy's is classic.
Okay. I can see
And
that.
I
I
can
can see
too.
that.
I can too.
and so no, did you ever look at each other's style and say, "Oh, our styles are very similar"?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I
For
mean,
sure.
there's so much about us that is very, very similar. But also there's that little element of difference too. So that's really cool
Yes.
to see. I was very
Yeah.
excited to hear.
So the way I look at it is the primary word, that's your 80%. Like that's your anchor. That's your grounding word. And then the secondary word, that's your twitter. Sporty is really about wearing things that are comfortable, feeling, but I mean, there's so much more to it than that. And then natural is, it's kind of the counterbalance. What I've heard from so many women is I've found that when their style is sporty and natural, a lot of times because it's not an overt style, a lot of women have come to me and said, I don't have a style.
Mhm.
And when they take the Style Finder ID assessment, they're like, ooh, there is a style there. Maybe it's just a little bit more subdued than my friends who are dramatic or contemporary or whimsy, something else that's a little bit more overt. But Chrissy, for you, your supporting word is whimsical. It's just like the flavor that underscores it. And that's the what's unexpected, the fun, the playfulness, really the fun. I like to say the fun of it. Um, and then Cindy, for you, yours is classic, more traditional, more classic, and withstands the trend or withstands the test of time. So for you, talking about building a French capsule, you could invest in a lot of more timeless pieces and know they're not going to go out of style. So
That
that's how you
sounds
can build
perfect.
it. But yeah, you mentioned the trends earlier. Neither of you are very much influenced by the trends. Although I tell, no matter what your archetype is, pay attention to the trends. And even if you aren't going to jump on a trend bandwagon, you can bring in color, like chocolate brown.
Mhm.
Oh my God, chocolate brown was everywhere in Paris. Chocolate, we saw burgundy, chartreuse, and whether or not it's your best color. I always say don't let the trends dictate what you wear what's right for you. But you could say, okay, browns are really hot right now. Let me find my best brown. Let me bring that into my wardrobe. Or chartreuse might not be right, but let me find my best burgundy. And those are ways you can bring your classic silhouettes onto trend and feel like you're right in style.
I love that. And I love when I talk to a stylist and they stress the importance of pursuing what still makes you feel like you and not
Mm,
necessarily chasing the trends. I will
yeah.
admit that I've kind of said I'm going to hold on to my skinny jeans with my like cold, dead hands. But I have ventured into the world of non skinny jeans recently, and it is kind of fun. So I do think that's what can be nice about trends is that it can force you to sort of step outside of your comfort zone and try something new sometimes. So I think there's benefits to both for sure.
Definitely.
When I was filling out the form, I was noticing that I wasn't sure whether I should fill it out as how I am right now or how I want to be.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
so I did it how I am right now. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is going to affect how it turns out. But it really was still very accurate.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I worry about with my style is that I'm vanilla. That, I'm sporty, but I don't have anything that really makes me stick out. And so I'd like to venture into those areas. But then there's a part of me that I grew up very small town. So if you had anything that stuck out, I mean, you really stuck out. So I'm just curious if that has been ingrained in me, that has made me more classic, or if it's ultimately who I am.
Well, that's a question that only you can answer. And I think it could be interesting if you wanted to try to go back and take the Style Finder ID assessment and really just kind of clear your brain and ask yourself, where do I want to be? What really, like in an ideal world, if I could wear anything, like what? So if you want to try it again, we could look at, well, does it differ? Does it change?
That would be cool. That would be really cool because
Because
as I was
oftentimes,
reading it, I was
yeah.
like, oh, I kind of would like that.
I think a lot of times we pick up beliefs that are ingrained in us and really just kind of come out and that, ooh, I can't wear that. And I talk a lot about this when it comes to age. I'm at the age where a lot of women are saying, ooh, is that age appropriate? Should I be wearing that? And I think once you hit 40, women start wondering. And it's interesting because when I first became a style coach, I was 40. And I did a lot of speaking. One of my most popular topics was what to wear that's age appropriate. How to find your age appropriate style. And so I made, all these great presentations and women loved it. And as I've gotten older, I've realized age has nothing to do with it. Age is just out the window. It's all about knowing what our style is. Because if we're just letting our age dictate what we wear, we're going to stop. I mean, Tina Turner, look at her. She wore mini skirts up until her, what, 80s, 90s. And if somebody had said, oh, you're too old for mini skirts, she would have missed out on showing off one of her best features. But I think it's really when we can look at ourselves and play up our best features, dress for the body we're in right now. And your body is never the problem. If your clothes don't fit, just go up a size or find what's right for you. Wear what's right for your coloring. Wear what makes your heart sing. And I think when we can really look at what makes me happy, what makes me feel confident walking out the door, that's when the magic happens.
So many of our listeners, Michelle, are moms or women in midlife who have spent years putting everyone else first. You mentioned that in the beginning. You call this the invisibility trap. What are a few small but powerful steps women can take today to start reclaiming their visibility and showing up as the most confident, radiant version of themselves inside and out? I'm struggling with this right now because I am a little bit older. I've noticed my body changing. I have that same feeling that you just talked about where, is this age appropriate? Do I need to do something different with my hair? Oh, I can't wear these platform shoes because I'm X years old. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. A huge shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Your support truly means the world to us. Thanks to you, we are able to continue the weekly production of Mama Needs a Moment and getting this valuable information from these incredible guests out to you, our listeners. This final question has been recorded as a bonus and is available for our Patreon subscribers to go listen to right now. Be sure to log into your Patreon account and have a listen. If you're not a subscriber, we'd love to have you. The link is in the show notes.
I think there were so many powerful messages that you shared about just the confidence and knowing who you are and accepting where you are now. And I think that this is a very powerful conversation. I'm really excited to share this with our community. Thank you so much, Michelle, for spending a chunk of your very busy day with us. You have a very busy day today.
It has been my honor.
This was so much fun. I really appreciate talking to you. Thanks so much, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you both so much.
That's a wrap. You carved out a few moments just for yourself, and that's a big deal.
We understand that time is limited, but we've got your back, which is why we keep these episodes short, sweet, and packed with goodness.
Don't miss a thing. Hit the follow button so you're always the first to know when a new episode drops. If you had as much fun as we did, let us know by leaving a review.
And remember to let other moms know that we're here doing motherhood alongside you. Grateful to share a few moments taking care of you.